Hi kids! Do you like pain? Are you a secret sadist? Do you torture animals sometimes? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then I have the perfect therapist for you. Or you can just play some roguelike games and skip therapy. But what is a roguelike? Well, if you've ever played a game where you die within the first 5 minutes only to come back with more knowledge and do it all over again, then you've probably played a roguelike. There are honestly so many games that could be called roguelike, and the list continues to grow, but I'm gonna go over the ones that got me into the genre and had the most impact on me. So let's just jump right. Dead Cells. I love this game. Dead Cells is a 2D side-scrolling roguelike Metroidvania. That's a word salad. For those not familiar with the Metroidvania type game, the basic premise is this. Want to climb these vines? Gotta get an upgrade. Want to reach that area? Gotta learn how to double jump and wall run. Want to teleport using this coffin? You guessed it. Dead Cells is an amalgamation of many games, but it wears its influences on its sleeve. A big one obviously being the Soulsborne games. Dead Cells, Dark Souls, you understand. I mean, tough bosses, story given through mostly world building. I mean, they're not being subtle, you get an Estus flask for recovery. Castlevania being the biggest influence though. The 6th and final expansion released pretty much makes the game into Castlevania too. I'm not going to spoil exactly how, but it's pretty crazy. Before starting to run, you can outfit your character with different skins and heads, as well as check out any unlockables you've acquired so far. And holy cow, there are so many things to unlock. I've played this game for over 150 hours and still haven't unlocked everything. So here's the basic gameplay loop for most roguelikes. The goal is to make it to the end of the dungeon/game in one life. To do so, you'll acquire different weapons and upgrades to your skills that'll make your life easier to get to that final boss. If you die at any point during a run, that's it. You lose all your weapons and skills and go back to the beginning to do it all over again. Wow, Vesvin, I'm definitely not going to play any of these games now. That sounds really stupid. Well, you're stupid! Anyways, this is the beauty of a roguelike. With Dead Cells specifically, the enemies you defeat along the way drop cells. Hey, I did say they weren't being subtle. After you make it through an area of the dungeon, you'll make it to a hub area where you can use those cells to purchase blueprints for better weapons and skills, which you can then use on any subsequent run. And no one run is identical too, since all the items you get in a run are randomized. It's actually a really great way to keep things fresh throughout your playtime. Depending on how your run's going, you can totally breeze right through enemies feeling like Mike Tyson in an all-you-can-eat ear buffet. After beating the game for the first time, you unlock boss cells, which can be turned on or off at the beginning of a run. Essentially, they up the difficulty and potential rewards gained depending on how many of the cells you choose to begin with. It just makes the game even more replayable, especially since you can't see the secret ending unless you beat the game at its highest difficulty. There's also specific blueprints you can't get unless you beat a boss without losing any health, which... Are you seeing this? How am I supposed to do that? Really, the thing that's impressed me more than anything is the completely unheard of amount of post-launch support this game has had. I mean, Dead Cells came out in 2018, but has had continuous updates till late last year. And when I say updates, I mean genuinely adding things to the game and not just patches. As of this video, there's been 35 official updates that have added new weapons, enemies, bosses, skills, and more. Just crazy that a small indie studio of about 10 people can outmatch most quadruple A studios. The passion put into this game is insane. I seriously can't wait to see what Motion Twin's next game will be, because if it's anything like Dead Cells, it'll be an absolute banger. Hades! This game is as close to a masterpiece as it gets. From the voice acting...
You mess with Tiss, Redblood, you mess with me. Get it?
to the straight out of a painting art style.
For all his faults, Father did make this place look good.
The music. This game is just so impressive. Based on Greek mythology, Hades is a mix of dungeon crawler and roguelike. You play as Zagreus, the son of Hades.
King's father, my ransacking was a delight, thank you for asking.
As he tries to escape hell to the mortal world.
To hell with this place.
This doesn't make his dad happy, to say the least.
You really think you can get out of here?
Combat takes place in randomly generated rooms, and after clearing a room, you're generally met with multiple doors to the next encounter. You can choose which door you want to go through depending on what type of reward you're wanting. Be this money to spend during a run on temporary upgrades.
Payment in full.
And there's more items too, but the best and most important being boons. Boons act as skill upgrades during a run, and they're given out by Zagreus' estranged family on Olympus.
Son of Hades, should eventually you spawn your own offspring. I recommend maintaining sub-infinite distances with them in space and time.
This serves as the best part of the game, in my opinion. Watching him interact with these different gods during a run fleshes out the story as well.
Lost. Have you any idea how many lives it drank during your father's glory days?
Probably the most impressive thing this game does is the sheer amount of different dialogue there is. After about 200 hours, I don't think I've heard the same dialogue between characters twice. How many other games could you say the same about?
Some of us more than others.
Between runs, you can hang out at the House of Hades and interact with different characters too.
I'm home.
It really helps that all the characters in this game are super likable.
Oh, please.
Well, except maybe Skelly.
Nice place you got here, boyo. Name's Skelly, how's it going? But enough with the small talk already. I'm here to do a job. So let me have it. Give me everything you got.
But he's literally a punching bag, so it doesn't even matter.
Whoops.
While you're in the House of Hades, you can use resources you've acquired through runs to purchase different furniture and permanent upgrades to the house,
For these tables here.
There were no complaints on record of the prior tables.
but also to Zagreus as well.
Felt that, I think.
As for weapons, Zag has access to 3 at the start, but that gradually grows to 6. And this includes a sword, bow, spear, among others. And each weapon has 4 different forms, as well as being able to change certain aspects about them during a run, so gameplay always feels fresh. There's honestly so much to this game that I feel like I'm always finding something new to try out with a run.
Beautiful.
And now with Hades 2 in early access, there's seriously never been a better time to go to hell. Before I get to the next game, let me know in the comments what your favorite roguelike is. Daddy needs a new addiction. This song is so catchy!
You know what? I'm about to say it.
This is my favorite roguelike. If you haven't played it, do yourself a favor, turn off this video and buy it now. Then come back and finish the video. Thanks. Enter the Gungeon is a roguelike with a bullet hell twist. You play as one of a handful of Gungeoneers as they make their way through the Gungeon to find the gun that can kill their past. Every Gungeoneer has a different starting weapon as well as a unique item. For example, the pilot starts with a lockpick and a really crappy blaster. The convict is a woman, and her special ability is to get very angry sometimes, usually a couple days a month. I'm sorry. Every character has a unique ending too, which makes seeing the end of the Gungeon worth doing with every character. But let's talk about the most important thing.
The guns!
There's so many different guns. This gun shoots peas. This gun turns enemies into chickens. This is an AK-47 with erectile dysfunction. Everything is gun-themed as well. From the enemies to the bosses. There's even a gun that shoots the word bullet. Most of the guns have synergies with other items and guns as well. For instance, this is just Samus's gun from Metroid, but if I get an item that lets me drop bombs when I dodge, again from Metroid, it'll change forms. It's a really cool way to experiment with every weapon to see what combinations each has. Oh, and there are tons of other pop culture references with the guns and items too, which, if you're a pop culture nerd like I am, just makes the game so much better. Look, I've bought Enter the Gungeon on every system I own, which should tell you just how obsessed I am with this game. It's that good. The Binding of Isaac. The most depressing roguelike for sure, but also arguably the one that put roguelikes on the map. It's also the roguelike that got me into the genre to begin with. You play as Isaac as well as many other biblically named characters you can unlock, as you try to escape from Isaac's mother after she hears a voice from God to kill her son. Isn't that special? As you play, you make your way through different dungeons with a boss waiting for you at the end of each one. Every run is randomized, so there's always different upgrades to collect as well as different bosses to fight. Also, the amount of secrets this game has is immense. I think I have around 250 hours in this game, and just look how much I still have to unlock. Just crazy. But how can a poor little child defend themselves in these horrific circumstances? Tears. You shoot your tears at them. Hey, it worked for me in high school. But of course, what's a roguelike without a million different power-ups to collect? These all help augment your abilities so you hit harder, shoot tears faster and farther, etc. Not to say all of the pickups are useful. Some of them will actually hinder you. Like this. Hey, that's just like when my wife saw me naked for the first time. You have to make a lot of risk versus reward decisions. Like, do I go through the store that'll damage me? It might have something good on the other side. Or, do I even play this game anymore since I can't get past the first level because the spiders keep killing me? Stuff like that. This game really helped pave the way for roguelikes, and I don't think it's a stretch to say most roguelikes owe their success to the Binding of Isaac. Lastly, I want to give a quick shout out to Vampire Survivors. No game recently has made me so locked in, making me go from, oh, this is kind of relaxing, to, what is happening right now? And I love it for that. I know this isn't a comprehensive list, and it's some of the more popular ones, but man, this is a great start before jumping fully into the rabbit hole that is roguelikes. Enter the gungeon, the gungeon. Classic.